Halimatou Ceesay. Nipana? Halimatou? 5 minutes. Halimatou?
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Commissioners, and distinguished delegates, I bring greetings on behalf of the International Federation of Women Lawyers and the Global Forum of Communities Discriminated on Work and Descent, representing millions of Africans whose lives have been shaped by a history of marginalization rooted in ancestral occupation, descent, and caste-based systems of exclusion. We commend the African Commission on Human and People's Rights for its unwavering commitment to justice and dignity for all, and for providing this vital platform to bring forward voices from the margins. Today, we speak in pursuit of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. We emphasize that true reparative justice must include those who remain largely invisible in our institutions and framework, communities discriminated on work and descent. These communities, found across many African countries, continue to face systematic discrimination, exclusion from land and resources, social segregation, denial of justice, and economic disenfranchisement. This form of oppression, based on inherited status and descent shares, roots with the legacies of slavery and colonial domination, and is sustained by silence and neglect in policy making and national law. We applaud the adoption of Resolution 619 at the 81st Ordinary Session of the African Commission, a historic recognition of the discrimination and human rights violations faced by CGWD in Africa. This resolution stands as a milestone for communities that have long been denied formal acknowledgement on their struggles. However, recognition is only the first step. We now call for the full and immediate operationalization of Resolution 619. Specifically, we urge the African Commission to develop and disseminate clear guidelines and mechanisms for the implementation of Resolution 619 by member states. Support national governments to review existing laws, policies, and institutional practices in order to identify and eliminate caste and descent-based discrimination. Facilitate the inclusion of CGWD in national reparation programs, truth-telling initiatives, and social norms and economic empowerment schemes, particularly in the context of slavery, discrimination, and exclusion. Promote awareness-raising campaigns and institutional reforms that challenge harmful customary and social norms perpetuating exclusion of CGWD. Encourage data collection and disaggregation to make CGWD communities visible in development justice and human rights reporting across the continent. Establish a dedicated focal point on working group within the Commission to follow up on the implementation of Resolution 619 and monitor the human rights situation of the CGWD. Establish a dedicated focal point or working group within the Commission to follow up on the implementation of Resolution 619 and monitor the human rights situation of the CGWD. Furthermore, we emphasize that reparations for Africans and people of African descent must be inclusive of the historical and continuing injustices suffered by the CGWD. Reparations must not be confined to symbolic gestures. They must include restitution of land and traditional livelihoods, targeted investment in education, healthcare, and housing, legal reforms to guarantee non-discrimination, public acknowledgement of historical wrongs, and institutional mechanisms to ensure accountability and redress. Chairperson, as the African Commission advances its drive for reparative justice, it's imperative that CGWD are not left behind. We call on this Commission to continue placing the voices of the most marginalized at the center of human rights and across the continent. Let justice move from words to action. Let recognition turn into restoration. Let the margins become the mainstream. Thank you.